Yeah.
I will.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
I will send off an email to Jim. I was thinking of CCing both you and Dave on that email, if you don't have any objection.
None.
Yep. Okay. So the next order of business is, hold on one sec. One sec. Sorry about that.
You know, there's actually another way the school could approach this.
Mhm.
Maybe it won't work, but I was thinking, you know, if they put just out a notice to all the kids saying, hey, you know, if you beware that you may receive malware via malware and your phone will be permanently screwed up, and it may come to you via airdrop, you know, turn that, you know, off, or only accept airdrop from your trusted contacts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what policies the school articulates to the kids about their behavior on the school network or with their computer. My guess is they probably have some pretty clear policies about hacking and other types of harassment and so on.
Well, that's different. That's trying to discourage the hacker from perpetrating
but I don't
crime.
know around like phishing protection and that type of, you know, where they're educating kids about stuff like that. They should, for sure. You're right, Jonathan, because this is easily be a malicious file attachment as a harassing one.
So we've had discussions about that in years past, and I don't remember whatever came of that, other than my sense is they may have focused that more on staff than on students, but I'm not sure.
What I remember is that they had they disseminated quite a bit of information to the students, and a lot of it just kind of went in, went out here and out the other.
Well,
Unfortunately,
yeah, that's not unusual considering that happens with adults too. I mean.
Yeah. So, you know.
Okay. So moving on, I think the next item on the agenda was just some coordination around our meeting with the select board to talk about the incident response plan and cyber stuff more generally. I've been going back and forth with Pam Callahan on when to meet. She had proposed, let me just see. So we had an issue this month because Robin is on vacation for a couple of weeks. And so we were supposed to meet kind of the 13th and then the 20th, but he is out. He was out both of those days on vacation. So she proposed the 27th. That doesn't work for me because I'm on a business trip that week. And so now we're looking at March. And she has put out there the March 6th and then, but said that Patrice may table it until March 20th. So I think we're penciled in for March 6th. Dave is not going to be around. You're going to be on vacation.
Right.
But it may be March 20th. And I just want to throw it out to you, the committee, and just see if we have a preference. Because if it works for more people to do it on the 20th, then we should just tell them we'll do it on the 20th.
I can do either. I'm around all March.
Okay. Anybody else have? I know Dave, you've got a conflict. Anybody else?
Right.
No, either one is okay.
I might have a conflict that day on the 20th.
On the 20th. Okay. So.
6th might be a conflict depending on what time the meeting is going to be at, or when we're going to be at the meeting.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, they're always in the evening, so you can count on that, and they usually start in, I think, 6:30 generally for select board. But this will be an executive session, which could mean we're at the beginning of the agenda, or it could mean we're at the end of the agenda. They do it, but it's usually one or the other. They usually don't sandwich them in the middle of a meeting just because of the logistics. So it could be early on whatever night that is, or later, kind of more in that 9:30 area. I would argue for earlier, just because I would rather not have this conversation with a bunch of sleepy select board members.
Right.
I don't think it's a conversation. I think it's a conversation you want to have when you're still feeling pretty sharp.
Yep.
Also, I'm thinking, if this incident at Oakland, California,
Yep.
if that really spins out of control, that's gonna get a lot of national publicity.
I think it has spun out of control, and yeah, I mean,
So you don't want that to be, from the standpoint of the selectmen, something that they might forget about. So the sooner the better, it seems to me, in scheduling this meeting if it's possible.
okay. I'm with you.
Can I ask, is this meeting supposed to be one that will be addressing that draft that Dave Petto sent you?
Yes, and we're going to talk about that tonight. That is really the purpose of the meeting, is to address this gap in the town's incident response plan. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I
Well,
guess
if I may, my understanding is we probably don't want to get too into the specifics of that draft, because as Dave pointed out, that draft is old and he knows it needs to be updated. The issue that he's wanting to solve, and what we really need to focus this meeting on, is getting the select board on board to give him the resources he needs to get that done, and then they are going to sign off on it
Right.
when it hits their desk.
Right.
Not, he throws it at them and they put it off, and 6 years later, here we are.
8 years later.
That's great.
I'm sorry, 8 years later, right?
Yeah, that's good for
I
me.
think I think one thing we need to communicate is, you don't want to just, the ask is not to simply approve this draft plan. This draft plan is not ready for prime time anyway. The ask is you actually put resources and staff towards formulating an updated and workable plan for the town, not just rubber stamp this and then stick it on.
Right.
So,
Right.
I think that's
and
kind of where
also
I
do
come-
exercises and all the stuff associated with it.
So for us, there might be an argument to be made to the select board of, we've read this plan, this is not ready for prime time. You want to, yes, have this to refer to, but we actually want to create a living incident response plan that is up to date and,
I agree, but I'd like to run the specific messaging, get on the same page with Petto before we do that.
I agree. Yeah, we can talk to him about that. I'm with you, Dave. I think that's what Dave is looking for. My understanding is he's raised this issue a number of times and kind of got shot down, trying to say, hey, we need to get this up. I mean, the other thing as well, and this comes back to a very common theme with us, is, Dave is just Dave. Dave is just the town. Dave is 1/5 of the town's IT.
Well,
I mean, he's more than that.
More than that.
Yeah, he's more than that from a staffing and resource perspective, but literally, he is one of 4 or 5 IT groups in town. And so the other piece of this is not, oh, Dave, can you get your incident response plan in shape? It is, this town needs an incident response plan that encompasses BMLD, public safety, the library, the schools, and the town. And it has to speak to all of those, and everybody needs to be read in on it and understand what their role is. And the town needs to have group organization structures in place to support this. God forbid something happens.
Yeah.
That is going to be a heavy lift for Belmont. We are not there yet as a community. And so, this is going to be a important process, I think. So I to your point, Dave, I don't want to position this as Dave's been asking for this, we should give it to Dave and let Dave get it done.
Right. I agree with you.
That's just perpetuating a problem that we already have, which is decentralized, uncoordinated, siloed IT, departments that have a real weakest link problem in terms of cyber risk. We also need to make that larger argument of this plan needs to encompass all of the IT functions in town across departments.
Right.
So yes. So So I will say, hey, we're good with either date. Let
Mhm.
us know which works best. We think sooner rather than later. And we also think, please put us on the agenda first rather than last. We don't want bleary-eyed, tired select board members looking to get us out of their room so they can go home and, stream Netflix. Because they're human beings at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so next item I think is, kind of last item on the agenda would be just to talk about the incident response plan that Dave shared. I think we've all had a chance to look at it. If not, I can definitely also bring it up on my screen and we can kind of peruse it.
So before we do that, can I make a motion that we move to executive session to discuss cybersecurity related material?
Yeah, right.
Seconded.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? None. Okay, motion's adopted. I am going to stop recording.